everyone.
Nobody's there yet.
We are being filmed.
But afterward, hey to the people who are watching this after. Y'all are already here. Look, friends are coming on. Hey!
Cheers, Taylor.
Cheers.
Welcome to tea time. I'm Tina, TiTi.
And I'm TayTay. And this is tea
Tea
time. Woo! We're getting together every month to come with you and discuss together topics in holistic health and a raw vegan lifestyle. You know, what's going on, what's important, what's relevant. And engaging in these dialogues together with each other, but also with you. And really inviting you to be a part of this exchange to the extent that you feel comfortable and resonant.
Yes. This month is June 2021, and we are going to be talking about why holistic.
Why holistic?
Why holistic on
Why holistic?
life, why holistic on a raw vegan lifestyle, and how it all relates. And we're here in Northern California together. We just went to One Love Festival. It was really awesome and very inspiring and invigorating. And we're just together. We're going to explore life for a few weeks and hang out, have a good time,
Yeah.
create dreams.
Dream big.
Yeah.
It's a good time to dream big right now. Between
Yeah.
our two eclipses, lunar eclipse we just had, May 26th, solar coming in on June 10th. This is like a portal, so we're also like in this portal together in tea time. Dreaming big together and really like, yeah, going deep, going broad into this topic of why holistic. So
before we go on to that aspect, what are you drinking, Taylor? We're both having the same tea since we're together.
Well, I think we're drinking this. We're drinking this. Y'all can see? We're drinking this.
The Tigress.
You want to say?
Sure.
Yeah.
This has it's an
this
organic loose leaf tea. It's nettle leaf, tulsi, violet leaf, red clover blossoms, lemongrass, burdock root, and cornflower. Flowers.
Yum.
So,
And it's loose leaf and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And Tina has all this amazing tea stuff here, like this baby and
the little
y'all
chickens.
look at our little foxes. Like,
Yeah.
little
We got the
foxy.
fox
We got,
family
like-
going on. We
like
got
mama
tigress
fox,
tea
baby
and
fox.
a lot of
Yes.
animal love, a lot of
Yes,
animal.
holistic. Everybody's here.
Yeah.
All right, y'all are here. We're here. We're on the internet, but we're also we're out in nature. The
Yes.
plants are here. The tea is here. Our loving hearts are here. Mind, body, soul, and spirit. Yeah. And this will be on both of our IGTVs after. And it's a
Yes.
whole series. So you'll see between my IGTV at Joyful Raw Life and Tina's IGTV. That's a lot of letters. Tina Sue's. You want to spell it?
CSEUZ.
With the Tina spelled normally in front. Tina. Tina. Tina Sue's. On both of our IGTVs. All of these are posted. All our conversations, kind of tooting our own horn. But they've been really epic. They're a bunch of wonderful conversations. And this one will be there as well. And I also load it onto my YouTube channel, Taylor A. Norris. So there are different places you can find these conversations.
Yeah. So we're just coming together, and we come together once a month usually, and it's the first Tuesday of every month. So if this is your first time,
Yes.
just stay tuned, and we'll be having these monthly. And welcome. Someone says hi from Liverpool.
Woo,
Vicky.
UK, baby.
Woo-woo.
Liverpool.
Nice.
Liverpool. I love the accent. Yeah, that's so wonderful.
Thanks for coming on. So today's topic, like we said, is why holistic. And before we get into all the reasons of why we think holistic is important, we kind of wanted to just name what holistic is. What does holistic mean, and what's that relevant to?
What are you grateful for? We always
How
do
can we forget
gratitude.
gratitude? I know, right?
Yeah. What are you grateful for, Tina?
All right, so I'm grateful for dancing, I'm grateful for glitter. I'm grateful for animal love. I'm grateful for following my heart and my intuition and it leading me into the beautiful desert to create awakening in one love in a way that is like connecting and joyful and like really creative. And so we're dancing, we went to a lot of really awesome workshops, and I'm really grateful for all the people living and embodying their creative expression and, you know, even going against the grain and being, you know, not having the courage to be themselves. How about you, Taylor?
Everything you just said. And yeah, like just being around like such innovative people and being like, this is what we need in the world. Each of us, you know, I'm grateful for authenticity. I'm grateful for the simplicity of authenticity being the solution to most things. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Grateful to be here. Grateful for you tuning in, whether it's live or after. And yeah, just really grateful to be cultivating this soul family, this soul tribe, and bringing people together around these topics in a way that is empowering and inspiring and also expansive, like expanding how we think of these ideas and how we can also embody them fully too. Not just, oh, we're just talking this stuff, but like embodying it and living it and making this world and this life a better experience. Yeah, so let's do that.
Yay. And just reflecting to each other, like I'm going along board of what everything you just said, like adding on to that, just the reflection of us all on our journeys. We're all on our journeys, and we're all, you know, it's all a practice and a remembrance, and keeping, like you were talking about yesterday, tapping into it over and over and over, you know, tapping into our intuition and tools. And by creating this space, I hope you guys all chime in, share your questions or comments about anything we're going to mention today. We loved your interaction, and
Yes. Yeah, I keep adjusting this too. Like, because it's all right, y'all. It's funny because we're both like really live together, and then we're live on each individual phone, and it's like Tina's looks better than mine. Like it looks lighter and brighter, and yeah, I guess we have different phones, but it's trippy, and we're gonna be kind of like doing weird eye contact. So y'all just like hang in there for that, and we love you for like being with us as we're kind of lower tech people, like being high tech. So yes, beautiful, because we're holistic and we do that.
Oh my God.
Everything's holistic. So
what does that mean?
What is holistic?
Yeah, I'll take it away. All right. To me, holistic means recognizing the whole in myself, meaning I have a soul, I have a connection to spirit and a higher being, and I have my body, I have my heart and emotional self, I have my you know, my mental self, and I have, you know, all the subtle parts of myself, which to me encompass like the soul and the aura, everything like beyond that. That also to me, holistic, it could also mean like the holistic, remembering that you're connected to everything. Like I'm connected to the earth, I'm connected to the animal people, I'm connected to the elements, and like we all affect each other. So like that's the holistic vision of a bigger picture, and then the holistic vision of like just myself as a being. Hey, Eleanor.
Eleanor in the house. What's
Yay.
up? Coming in from New Zealand.
Yay.
Another beautiful location on planet Earth.
So how about you, Taylor? Does you have anything to add on to like what holistic means for you?
That really resonates, you know, fully. I think it's, you know, I've understanding it, at the individual level, really, really deeply and fully, and then, seeing that, understanding that, like, shines light and expands out to everything, like the rest of creation, that way. And, recognizing the interconnected, interdependent nature of everything that we are, and in, you know, the one being, the mind, the body, the soul, the spirit, the mind, the body, the heart, however you want to look at it. I like mind, body, soul, spirit. That makes sense to me. But then I'm like, heart, like, where is that? And there's a lot of overlap in a lot of it, too. Like, that's something, too, in my exploration of what is holistic. That, like, these distinctions, these categorical distinctions are difficult. You know, they're challenging. We're trying to talk about things that are, like, so big.
Yeah,
and,
so broad.
And, broad, all-encompassing. And, you know, I think the categories can make it simpler in some ways, but also, you know, so technical. So not getting too wrapped up in all of that. But, seeing the big picture of the individual and including all aspects as part of that big picture. And also, like, becoming aware of the big picture of the larger reality that we're all functioning in, you know, whether that's just planet Earth, you know, a family system, a societal system, a community, a tribe, a country,
different
a continent,
systems,
you know, a part of the world, the whole world,
the universe,
the solar system, the galaxy, the universe, the multiverse, and it just goes out and out and out. And it also goes
and
in
infinite,
the same way, infinitely small, microcosm, macrocosm. Those might be words y'all are saying, but these are all kind of related concepts. We had a beautiful comment, so I want to reflect that. Hey, beautiful to connect, being here for the first time. Loving rays from Isle of Man. Ooh, I don't even know where that is. Welcome, Dancing River 888. Thank you for your beautiful comment. And welcome, Eleanor. She's saying, morning, my lovelies. Kisses. Morning, darling. Yes, so...
I love that, like what you just said, how it's infinitely spreading out and infinitely going within. Kind of reminds me that I guess holistic is also just kind of embodying the concept or intention of connection, like remembering our connection to all my relations, which is like something I like to remember to say to myself, all my relations, for all my relations. You know, everything is impacting all my relations, and I have a relationship with each one of the things you just mentioned. So it can be like a live thing, and it could be like a system. It could be so many different things. And going along, like now that we kind of are on the same page about like what we are talking about, like. Also, just we'd like to mention and not concentrate too much time on this, but just mention that, like, you know, the rest of society doesn't totally uphold this vision. You know, a lot of things are fractionalized. So we have, oh, goodness, y'all are naturally beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You are too.
Yes, thank you for being here and sharing the emoji love selection, especially I'm resonating with.
Yeah. So just remembering that, like, I think in general, you know, you can say, oh, there's like a war or faction of like this against this, or good versus evil, or connection versus separation, or love versus fear. But, you know, not to like put more wood to the fire, but like just naming that there are things in our society that don't uphold this vision, and they really actually activate or trigger the separation and fear mentality. And this can happen, you know, if you're looking at advertisements, at a lot of them are actually concentrating on pointing at the void a person can feel, and, you know, saying buy this to fulfill that void, and a lot of things are not really upholding the fact that we do have a soul, or like we do have a spiritual connection. We do have, no matter what you believe in, like there is something bigger than us, and, you know, there is love.
We're whole and complete. And, you know, we're being a lot of times told and led to believe in many different manifestations that we are not whole and complete, which is, in my discernment, not true at all. It's like funny, actually. It's ridiculous. We're all whole and complete. We are all infinitely resourceful, and we are all connected to the source of all creation, because we are manifestations of that nature. We are manifestations of that creation.
Yeah.
So it's like it's kind of a deception that takes place. And a lot of society is set up in that way, a lot of the structures, and that's a lot of what's falling now too, which is, is kind of like the light side of all the shadow that's going on, is a lot of these systems are falling, and it's this great opportunity to be stepping into this more holistic vision of oneself and the world, and creating, replacing these old broken reductionistic, maybe you've heard that word, reductionistic systems, reductionistic paradigms that are short-sighted, that are beneficial only in the short term to a fraction of the population, rather than, engaging in these holistic solutions that are actually for the highest good of everything.
Yeah.
Those exist.
The win-win for sure. And the win-win meaning like what's good for the, like we often say, what's good for the
Tina lost her notes.
I'm going to go get it.
Okay. The win-win of, we can find win-wins. We can find what's good for me and what's good for Tina. Like, they're not mutually exclusive. I love the action. The dog is running. The wind is blowing. The wind's like, hey, I'm a part of this conversation too. I'm a part of this holistic vision too. But yeah, we're given this opportunity as these reductionistic systems are falling to really be empowering the holistic structures, replacing these old ones that were not good long term anyway. So you were talking about win-win, and I love this concept you're sharing about.
Yeah. So we're just like touching upon this because you can see this in society. And just to give a few examples of fractionalistic thinking, I'm back.
Yeah.
You can look at, medicine, for instance,
Right.
like treat just like one organ, or use pharmaceuticals to do just this one thing, but you're lacking the whole concept of your whole being. Is it emotionally supportive? Is it spiritually supportive? Is it supportive on so many levels?
Right.
And if you look at the whole body as a system, if you just create overall health, like, then you don't create imbalances. So like, if we just mine the mountains, that we're like stripping the mountains, or if you I'm trying to think of examples of ways we see this in society.
Like the Hoover Dam.
Yeah,
As
we're
an
not
example.
thinking about the animal connection, for instance. So, you can see this in our food system, fractional thinking, like, oh, I need to eat this at the cost of these beings' lives and the environment's well-being.
Yes.
Yeah, so it just goes on. I mean, and not to, last thing I'm going to say is also like within like the fashion industry, like, tapping into that void of like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not beautiful, or I'm enough, or I'm not in the high class, or like, success, and they're really tapping into that when they do the advertising. And you have to have this thing or this object or this car to complete yourself and recognize that you're whole, because you're not whole without this.
Right.
So
And
that
they're not
whole
made
concept,
sustainably either. Like
Yeah,
the things
that whole
that
concept
all
is
these
wrong.
products are not made in holistic way either, that are like beneficial for the planet.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's both.
Yeah.
It's double. It's
Yeah.
double trouble.
And whatever we choose from, if we're choosing to take actions and buy things from a place of fear and lack and separation, we're just going to amplify that and amplify it out into our world. And it's like, that's where we lead into things like addictions and, create imbalance.
Mental health, mental illness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even the education system, a lot of schoolings don't, want to encourage maybe free choice, free will of choosing what you believe in, but they also will lack the idea that we even have a spirituality or a connection to nature or a lot of things. Or even each other, each other humans.
Right? We can't be doing this right now, right?
Yeah.
It's like, no, we actually can.
Yeah. So, that we just wanted to touch upon that to see like where we're coming from, and that we do need to be proactive about remembering our holistic nature and going to teachers, mentors, friends, environments that really support us in this truth.
Right. And that our choices matter. They make all the difference.
Yeah.
They make all the difference. Even the smallest choice makes
Yeah.
all the difference.
Every moment counts.
Yeah. Yeah. Your choices really, really make a huge impact and ripple out.
Yeah.
Because we are all interconnected,
Yeah.
you know?
And maybe these are things you already know, or these are things that you've already thought about, but we really believe like bringing people together, bringing tribe together, our soul tribe, you know, talking about this together. Like if you guys have comments you want to add on, but also bringing this out and rippling it out into your communities and having conversations with people about what they think about this too, and like what are solutions. So we're here to create this dialogue. And right now, and we're gonna kind of talk about like, well, why, what are the benefits of like having a holistic outlook in life and supporting it with our actions and thoughts and deeds, and also like what happens if, you know, what are the side effects possibly if you don't. They go hand in hand.
Yeah, and if y'all that are watching live, and then if you're watching this after the fact, if you want to drop in the chat or in the comments like what holistic means to you and why holistic for you,
that would be awesome.
Please share that. We would love to hear about that. Yeah, because we have ideas, but we want to know your ideas too.
Yeah,
because we're all learning from each other. We're all learning from each other all the time, and it's helping advance, you know, humanity and the consciousness on the planet, and get good ideas working, because like big, really beautiful holistic things can happen, you know, as we're coming together and joining perspectives and joining skill sets and talents. So
we really believe in this, and we have a lot of surprises in the future.
Definitely lots coming for sure. So yeah, shall we discuss why holistic?
Yeah,
the benefits of holistic living. Yeah.
Well, I think one of the first things that like we were kind of brainstorming about is like, you know, not remembering the holistic is creating this void, this impermanent, non-fulfilling satiation. So we're gonna go to all these external things that are actually trying to fulfill with pleasure, with pleasure seeking. You know, we're trying to fulfill this hole or this space in ourselves that actually has a deep yearning for a type of kind of like more permanent and lasting pleasure, which is our spiritual connection, right?
Love. Love. And however that spiritual connection is for you. Whatever it is for you.
Yeah. Like it could be nature, it could be, you know, a specific name of a god or multiple gods, or, you know, different religion or philosophy, but
spiritual path. It can be nature, your relation to nature itself.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. That we're all connected, and like we're being lied to that it's fear, it's lack, it's separation, you are dependent, like, and when really the truth as I see it is like we're autonomous and sovereign in our bodies, in our being, in our human form. We're interdependent. We're all connected. We are empowered. You know why? Because we have free will. We have choice.
And we can create.
We have choice in this life, and we are abundant. And we're infinitely resourceful. We wouldn't be here otherwise.
Yeah. So like,
why holistic? What are the benefits?
How about we give like an example, a personal example of how this is played out, maybe with our raw food lifestyle.
Sure.
Okay, so for me, a quick reference would be when I'm in the pattern of not remembering my holistic nature and actually nourishing it through connective quality time and devotion to that time, like consecutive committing time that I show up repeatedly, I start feeling anxious and I start feeling needy. I tend to like want somebody else to fix that, and then I'll like want their attention in an annoying way, or like, you know what I mean? Or it could be, you know, like obsessive compulsive kind of like binge watching, or, you know, movie watching. And it's with a raw food lifestyle, you're feeling all these, or at least I feel all these feelings a lot stronger. And so I've had periods where I've been humbled, like, to remember, hey, like, you need to get on your spiritual practice, because you're looking to fill this with other things that are not lasting. They're just temporary, like, quick fixes that really don't offer satiation. And that's the way it shows up for me. It can show up in codependent behavior. It can show up in, like, excessive buying stuff, or, you know, stuff like that. How about you, Taylor? Do you have, like, a example?
Yeah, it's definitely manifested as all of those ways she's saying: addiction, like falling off the raw vegan lifestyle. But thinking back to a time when I was disconnected from my holistic self, and not seeing that I am a mind, body, soul, and spirit, and I do have the power to choose what I want and to ask for what I want. I remember much, earlier in my journey, like, feeling like this. Really, it was like as soon as kind of like high school was hitting, around age like 15, and feeling like I didn't have free will. It was a trick. It was like, oh, you don't have free will? Like, what? Of course I did. But feeling disempowered, and feeling like I was, a slave to forces I couldn't control, like my emotions. My emotions were controlling me, and I was perpetually reactive and living out, patterns that I didn't want. I was like, why is my life, like, not feeling good, And this continued for like 7 years. And it was manifesting as like substance abuse, drinking a lot of alcohol, doing a lot of drugs. It was manifesting as, different sexual behavior that was not serving me. It was manifesting as an eating disorder, perpetually, like, hating my body, always trying to be starving myself or not eating, and, like, being thin, not liking how I felt and looked, and feeling like that was what my value was. Oh, yeah, feeling like, my value was just like how I looked in this body, when it was like, no. I have a wonderful body that's, doing amazing things for me all the time. I have a wonderful mind, and my soul has so many different gifts and talents, and I have a spiritual connection that if I nourish, things are really going to take off in a really wonderful way. And my relationships were very codependent. They were, like Tina was saying, with it being needy, and like also I was being like avoidant and needy, and just this toggle back and forth of unhealthy relationships, and like being a tornado of destruction in all of my relationships. Like, I was not very pleasant to be around for anyone who was around me. And I did not enjoy being around myself either. There was a lot of self-hatred. But as I started adopting a holistic lifestyle with the choice to become vegan, and at the same time, it was like the choice to really be committing to a spiritual path, and taking my spiritual nourishment more seriously, and to take my exercise more seriously, and be moving my body, and to be taking my mind seriously, and to be filling my mind with things I wanted to learn about, and also learning the discipline of my mind. And this happened over many years. But the more I've been on this path and dedicated again and again, as Tina was saying, with the consistency, coming back to it, learning something, seeing that it's my truth, coming back to it, repeating it, and then adding. If I'm guided to add this thing in, doing that consistently, adding it into my routine of things that works, adding it into my toolbox, using it, repeating. And what I've seen is all of these addictions have fallen away. Like, it's ever more refined experiences of health in my life, in all aspects of my life, I'm starting to have good relationships. What? Like, I thought I was incapable of a healthy relationship, and now, like, all my relationships are feeling really good. And my relationship with myself is feeling really good. And suddenly it's like, oh, I'm much more creative. I'm inspired. I'm giving myself permission to do the things that, like, as a little girl I really loved. And even as, like, a teenager, I was loving, but I shoved down because, oh, you know, you can't be taken seriously, or you can't make a living or something. So really, like, it's been an unfoldment too, and I think it's important to name that this is a life thing. This is a lifetime, and if you believe in multiple lives, you know, past lives and stuff too, it's like it can be kind of an infinite thing, you know, and that's a good thing. That's exciting.
Yeah, constant checking in and, like, really nurturing it, and consistent habits of, like, feeding all these aspects of our relationship to ourselves, and to the spiritual, and to the mental thoughts we nourish ourselves with, the emotions we nourish ourselves predominantly with. And so addictions is a big thing.
Yeah, and being free from that, like being free from any kind of addiction suddenly, in my experience, like liberates so much mental bandwidth. It liberates so much creativity. It's liberated so many different gifts that I'd been shoving down. Suddenly it's like every moment of my life, like, I'm excited about, and it's like I'm able to see the gift that it is, you know, and use it instead of being like, oh man, like, I'm so bored, or like, what am I gonna do with all this time, so I'm gonna binge watch Netflix. Like, I like can't fathom doing that right now, because it's like I'm so excited to live my life, not watch, you know, fictional characters live exciting things. You know, if anything, like, maybe I'll write a book like that, or create something I'm inspired by in a fantasy movie into real life, because, you know, why not?
So, like, I was just listening to what you were talking about, and it reminded me of, like, okay, we can be feeding all these other areas of our self-development, but, like, if we forget that we actually have a spiritual connection as well, it creates this, like, egocentrism of, like, oh, it's all about me, like, I'm gonna have the best body, the best mind, the best whatever, but then we forget the external relationships, you know. And you know, there's a big, where we're really talking about, like, a self-interested nature versus, like, a God-centric or spirit-centered nature, a way of looking at life. And also, like, there's a balance to that too, because some people get really tapped into their quote-unquote spiritual relationship, but then they forget their body, they like let themselves wither away, and then they're like doing all these devotional practices. So there really is an edge to play with all of this. And you know, I only can do what I'm capable of seeing at the moment. You know, I have blind spots, we all have blind spots, and it's just a consistent practice of showing up and having the intention to nourish oneself on all these levels, and remembering all or even cleansing on all those levels too, because I think that, you know, we can cleanse ourselves of limiting beliefs, cleanse ourselves of, you know, toxicity in the body, or it just, like, goes on so many levels. So
and it's valuable to be like, like, okay, if you're cleansing and healing, doing a juice cleanse, something like that, oh, that's so wonderful for your physical and mental health. But it can also be wonderful for your emotional health, you know, the health of your heart, your soul, your spirit. It can be this experience where, you are cleansing on all levels. Maybe you're bringing in another technique, or spending more time in meditation during that process. And really, like, taking the cleanse that seems like it's just about the physical and mental, and making it a holistic experience that then is providing a deeper healing to all aspects of the being, and nourishing all aspects of the being. I love what you're saying, too, about the self-interested nature. And the word that popped in my mind that I wrote down really big on my page was service. So as as all these, creative inspirations and things are coming forward, and maybe, you are feeling good and looking at the cultivation of your body, maybe to look a certain way, but what about like cultivation of a body that, is beautiful? You have permission to make a beautiful body, but like how like that healthy body can be of service now. Like, you're on a raw vegan lifestyle, you've improved your health. Like, now, how can I be of service? How can I be giving back? Because I got this gift of time in a human body.
Yeah.
Like, how can I take care of this sacred vessel, this sacred sacrament that I was given for free? I didn't pay anything to come in.
Yeah.
That was just a gift and a blessing that thankfully, I was made out of love and got to come here and have this experience. So, thinking about any kind of creative inspiration too, any kind of gift or talent. How can I use my gift or talent or ability that's dropping into my reality for the highest good of myself, others, in the world? How can I be of service? How can I give back? And that's completing the holistic loop of, I'm feeling really good and this is awesome. But then suddenly, that service component, how can I be of service, is going to make that I'm feeling good and feeling awesome and my life has meaning and it's feeling fulfilled. Oh my gosh. And this is my spiritual connection. This is my life purpose. And it's helping everybody else because that's why I came here. And we all came here for specific reasons that help each other and balance each other in this ecosystem of life.
So like what you're saying all lines up with like this concept of like, okay, I'm not just having a holistic outlook on what I'm eating, but I'm also having a holistic outlook on my goals, on my prayers, affirmations, like what I want to create in life, and like remembering the holistic nature of our reality and ourselves. We presence things like what you're saying. It's not just like, oh, I want a good body. It's like you're only thinking about the body. You're also thinking about all of it. All of it, and how we're all connected as humans too. And that's the whole win-win. And
it's like quadruple win.
And it feels good. It feels really good when we remember that. Like, a lot of the time we think possibly that like, oh, only I can win or you win if I whatever the situation is, like, oh, I'm in love with someone but he has a girlfriend. And then you're like, I should have, this actually happened once, like how do I express I need to tell this person I love him, but I was like, wait a minute, what's my intention behind sharing that? Like, what do I really want to get out of that? And I realized what is the win, like, even just asking the question, what's the win-win situation in this? And like once I started reframing it that way and realizing like, wow, I just really admire and love this person and they have an awesome relationship, and all I need to do is honor and celebrate that they're happy together, and that's me loving them without wanting anything in return. Like, true love is unconditional. And when I realized that, like, I could love without wanting anything in return and just do it through my acts, then I actually got this huge wave of energy, and I felt super happy, light, like I could feel good that I cared about that and loved that person, but I didn't need anything from them. And that was the win-win solution. It was just to express it through the acts and not want anything from that person. Because if you just feel love for something, all you have to do is show it. Yeah. And that was like a really big lesson for me, because a side note, it actually totally affected my vitality level. It totally affected my health and vitality level. And the night before, when I was super stressed, I had to sleep more hours. I was feeling drained and like heavy. And right when I noticed it, it was like immediately the next night I didn't have to sleep as many hours, and I was like, I felt awakened,
Woohoo!
So
win-win, people.
The win-win doesn't just affect like our body or whatever. It like affects our whole way we show up in life and how we interact with people.
I love the win-win, because it's like, if you take nothing away from this conversation, that is such a like nice nugget before anything you're doing. Like, is this win-win for my body? Is this win-win for my mind? Is it win-win for my whole being, my spiritual nature, my soul nature? Is it win-win for my relationship? Is this win-win? Is this business goal really win-win? You know, is it good for me and my clients or my people I'm serving? Is this way that I'm constructing my house, is it a win for me and what I want in a house? Is it also a win for the land that I'm on?
Yeah.
You know, is this cutting down this tree, is it a win for me? Is it a win for the tree, for the animals, for the others? Like, what is the relation? And having a way to be like plugging the win-win into these discernment situations and these decision-making situations, I think is really, really helpful. I drew it like this.
Oh, show them.
See? Win-win. It's probably backwards, but you know, like in math, you have exponents. I'm getting nerdy, people. You have like 2 to the second. Again, everything's backwards.
Oh, yeah. Like an exponential.
X. It would be like x to the x.
Yeah.
I'm trying to write it backwards so y'all can see it right.
Yeah, like
that
the
might
exponent.
look to the correct to y'all. X to the x. Well,
win to the win.
It's
exponent.
win to the win exponentially.
I love that.
Because it seems like, yeah, it's win-win. It's just winning for two. But a true win-win is win for me, and it's win for others, the world, all of creation. It keeps going out.
A holistic connection relationships. That's
it's
awesome.
Just tapping into the win to the win,
so
y'all.
This is so true.
We have a beautiful comment here from Dancing River 888. Loving everything you radiant sisters share. Thank you for your inspirational, unique nature. And I'm feeling my heart smiling and activating my joyful nature.
Yes.
Woo, woo! Yes,
Thank you.
beautiful people. Thank you for the hearts and the love. And keep any kind of comments, questions. What holistic means to you. You can share that. Why holistic for you, benefits you've had, anything you want to share to be a part of this conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll keep spraying it out throughout the conversation. So just let us know what you think holistic means.
Definitely.
I love this exponential idea. It's so right on. I have not thought of that. That's genius. Like this is the reality.
Yes.
You know, you have this exponential whole concept, and you can gauge it. You can gauge if you're really following your intuition and your holistic connection, the win-win, and you can gauge it by the outcome. You can see what the choice did afterwards, and you can see what did it do for your body's energy or your health. What did it do for the people around you? What did it do for the animals or the earth? All of it, you know, whatever your mind can go to, and see how it affects those relationships, because then you see the aftermath and you'll know if it's actually you're following the quote unquote correct voice that's like the guidance voice of love. Yeah. I wanted to add on to what you're saying too.
Yes,
please.
Please. I know. I was just
You
going.
were just like, no, I love it, because now it's getting really exciting. That, you know, there comes periods in life, and we were just talking about it. I was feeling like I was going through like a mini kind of lower period. I wasn't totally tapping into the magic of life. And I was like, what made it feel like it's the magic of life? Like, what actually created that feeling? Like, I want to tap into that again. I was, you know, it was around a certain concept of whatever it was, but it was like a part of my life. And, you know, Taylor and I were talking, and she really reminded me, like, so for instance, one of the periods that I loved the most in my life was when I was traveling, really following my intuition. And then another period I really loved was when I was home-based and creating my home space and building and creating. And I was like, I felt the magic of life then. And I was like, what was I doing? And I was really embodying this idea of holistic by the intention of living in prayer. And to me that means like honoring all the holistic, and also like following those kind of spiritual synchronistic guidances or my intuition. And, you know, I would just tap into the moment in the now of like, what was that moment that felt like the right thing to do to embody the concept living in prayer. And, you know, we've been doing it for the past few days a lot, like together too, and it just like feels totally natural. Like I feel this resurgence of possibility, of excitement for life, of love, of dreaming, and you know, it happened when I, like, even just saying yes to the things you love, like the festival we just went to. It's just like, I really need that. I need to honor the creative aspect of myself. You know, I have an inner artist, and I have an inner, we all do. We have an inner genius creative.
Yes.
I love this one
Yes.
woman who, like, said that, the inner genius creatives in ourselves. And yes, so living in prayer can also bring about the magic of life. That's what I want to share.
Yeah.
Is that the life can feel more alive.
Definitely. Yeah. I love that phrase, and like coming up with something that resonates for you. Like, one phrase that came to me is like, every day is a ceremony. Every day is a ceremony. It's like every day is a sacred ceremony.
Love that.
And like everything I'm doing within the day is also a sacred ceremony. So it's like the whole day is a sacred ceremony, and then every little act I'm doing, like we're having a sacred ceremony right now. You know, like Tina and I do it in a certain way. We're holding the space in a certain way. And this tea time is a little sacred ceremony, and it feels extra magical. You know, the way I like to prepare my food, it's like my own little mini sacred ceremony. You know, it's the most elaborate maybe when I have my own kitchen set up, but anytime I'm having my food, it's like it becomes a little mini sacred ceremony on the spot. And, you know, looking at each day as an opportunity like that, it really, it opens up this holistic flow. That it's not this like effortful thing where it's like, God, like I'm having to do the holistic flow. Like, it becomes effortless and just an awareness. And like Tina was saying, like the voice within that is aligned with this, because we all have this, that voice within that is aligned with this will become stronger and stronger the more you are aligning with it and your actions are aligning with it. And it'll just be obvious, it'll be effortless, and it'll be unfolding in this magical way that you really, for me, it makes me very excited, you know. But I have spiritual teachers, like one of my Reiki teachers is telling me, Taylor, like, this is just normal life now. Every day is having breakthroughs. Every day, you know, synchronicities are happening. Every day, you know, special things are just kind of opportunities are manifesting, resources are there, and life is feeling very good. You know, he'll say life is feeling better and better. And this is something that we can all experience. And what's cool is, because of the win to the win exponent thing, the more people, like, let's say my Reiki teacher taps into this, right? Like living holistically and everything being this, you know, one act is for the highest good of him, others, and the world. So that becomes, so he's in it. And because he's in it, I'm able to join it, and everyone he's interacting with is able to kind of join that frequency, become stronger. You know, Tina and I are in it, and that's like inviting and strengthening it and making it more possible and accessible for you to be. So it's kind of like this current that we can all tap into at any time, and it's the one that is holistic in nature. And it benefits everybody, and it's our true design. It's our true nature. It's the real program. It's the real human blueprint. It's the authentic human blueprint that is the truth, and is not the lies telling us, you know, we're not complete, we're not whole, we're separate, and all of these other things are gonna make us right again. We are beautiful. We are love.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me what you said. We are love. Like, I think another way of just tapping into this holistic magic of life feeling is just putting love into the things you do, and remembering to do that, and just asking in the moment, like what you were saying. Living in ceremony, it can be like, it could be a routine, and it also can be this intuitive, spontaneous adjustment that we're tweaking every now moment. Sometimes we'll need, you know, the sustaining kind of consistency of some kind of routine or ritual, and sometimes it will, you know, even within ritual, we will kind of tweak and adjust and do little things that, like, really say, okay, now this is how love is expressed for you right now in this now moment. And Yeah.
Even like in a seasonal way too, because like I like routine. I'm talking about routines and consistency all the time because I really benefit from them. They help me flow.
Yeah.
The routine helps me flow and be more present so that I know what my needs are. And it's like it's something as simple as in a yoga practice. Oh, I need this pose today. You know, I'm doing my normal thing at my, you know, normal time, but I'll notice because I'm doing my yoga practice, I need this particular pose, and I can, like, you know, be adding that in. So there is a real beauty to that routine, but noticing also how routines can change. Ayurveda talks about this, and we were talking about the seasons, like honoring the seasons and having that be an aspect of our holistic nature of, you know, routines adapting, having that this bigger influence that's happening, acknowledging it, naming it, and working with it instead of like working against it. Right?
And that
it's
totally,
there.
yeah, that totally ties into the whole concept of being present and remembering connections to what actually is going on versus what we think is going on, right? Yeah.
And then those two, with enough practice, they start aligning.
Yeah.
So it's way less confusing.
Yeah. And having compassion for ourselves, like within the practice of it, like we will have ebbs and flows. Like, and we will have spirals where we go upward and then like, but we go backwards and upward and forward and upward, you know, so it's going all the way. So
it's
yeah.
a process. It's a life journey. It's not a quick fix. That's the thing with the holistic. So the reductionistic paradigm that, you know, the outside world, the like man-made outside world is reflecting to us. It is a short-term, short-sighted, only beneficial for a small segment kind of paradigm versus the holistic, which is beneficial in the short term as well as the long term, you know, across time and space for all that exists. And yeah, this is like a big jump to be making, but it's it's long term. It's a long game. Like, we're in this for the long haul. So be patient and loving and compassionate for yourself. If you're not getting it just right, like, you know, today, like that's okay. You're getting enough of it, you know, as much as you can, and then maybe you're here and you're absorbing some new tidbits that'll help you step into it more fully. But it is a long game. It's a practice. It's a process. It's a moment by moment engagement. You know, so definitely be compassionate, be loving. You know, that's definitely the vibe of the holistic. It's not to be beating yourself for not already being perfectly holistic and all actions aligned with nature. Like, you know, we're this is not like the easiest place to be. Like, it gets easier the more you know, you find good guidance and good teachers, and you remember, you know, like how to be a human. But yeah, this is not an easy place to be. So the more we can be loving to ourselves and also loving and appreciative to others, like the others that we're, you know, our loved ones, and like where they're at, and loving them where they're at. This is gonna be a more, you know, a beneficial. This is a more holistic solution than being like, well, we disagree on this one point, so I'm gonna need you to believe exactly what I believe. Like, that's not really, you know, so useful. We have another beautiful comment from Dancing River. It's bedtime here. We'll listen to the rest of your sharing tomorrow. So happy to connect today with lots of amazing emojis.
You. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, beautiful. Yes, please definitely check out the rest. And yeah, it'll be on IGTV, both of ours and our YouTube. So yeah, enjoy sweet dreams. Yes.
So a couple of things popped in my mind when you were sharing about more benefits of like taking a holistic approach, because this is why holistic, right? I think one reason why holistic is important is because when we start really tapping into our mental body, our thoughts, like what we're creating with, when we tap into the emotions that respond and kind of share with us, our allies, like feedback about our choices, and when we tap into our spiritual guidance of like what the right, loving, good thing to do is in the present moment, there's a whole, the more we practice it and the more we do it, the more we remember this holistic connection and choose from it and remember, God and love, or whatever your concept of something bigger in, spirit or source is, then we become more responsive to life. Like, we actually respond to what's actually going on versus becoming like this reactive being who's like, and it's always like pattern conditioning, like everything's coming out spewing from what I think is happening, what I've been conditioned to think is happening. And it's a humbling process, but it's definitely rewarding. And I'm just, we're all in it. Totally. And I think that that's an awesome benefit to having a holistic outlook on life, and remembering it and practicing from that space of love, because it's really going to create this open win-win communication with all our relations. And it's the word respond versus react.
Yeah. Respond versus react. What came to mind for me listening to Tina was a lot of different things, but reaction is like when you're saying something, she says something to me, I get triggered, I get angry, and I punch her in the face. Right? That's a really obvious, like, I'm reacting, okay?
Reacting to the anger you're feeling.
Reacting to the anger. I'm just a slave to the anger. It's like, I love Tina. Like, she's my best friend. I don't want to hit her in the face. Like, I don't want to hurt her. But yeah, that feeling of anger overtakes me, overtakes my actions, and I react like that. Versus, and that's where a lot of the world is. That's a lot of the world living in these, in the body, like the lower chakras. If you guys are familiar with chakras, being connected to these survival needs only, root, sacral, solar plexus, just me, ego, self-interested nature. I am reacting to things. Versus what Tina's saying, shifting into this responsive where, okay, she says something, I don't like it, I feel angry, and I'm like, I notice I feel anger. Yeah. I feel anger. I'm angry. Okay. And it's a strong anger. Maybe it's like she really triggered me. It's a really strong anger. What are my needs right now? Okay. I need to go breathe a moment. I need to step away so that I can collect myself and respond with love, because I care about myself, and how this anger is manifesting in me, and my relationship with Tina, and the impact that we together have, on all our relations. So I need to go and take care of myself and go and breathe. I go breathe. Maybe I activate Reiki. We just learned tapping, EFT. Maybe I go tap it out and have my moment, and I come back. And then I'm able to, like, have a conversation continue with Tina and, like, share. And we're able to, resolve our differences, or, agree to disagree or whatever. So that's kind of the difference. And so that reaction, like I said, is happening. It's very much ego, self-interested only, lower chakras. And then when we're able to respond, it's like I'm able to tap into my heart, what my heart needs, my throat, how can I non-violently communicate, my intuition, again, what do I need? And then the crown, like, what is my higher guidance saying? Like, what is my truth, and how can I, like, be bringing in my basic needs and all of this kind of channeling through, filtering through, and coming out my voice and into a loving, nonviolent communication, compassionate communication that's actually, it's going to make our relationship stronger. Again, having that exchange. Yeah, it's going to have that exchange is going to be even more loving, and then maybe we're able to process it and, like, share it with other people, and, like, it's going to enrich our relationship, meaning we can create more together, more service and love together that's going to benefit more people. And then, like, she's leaving happier, I'm leaving happier, I'm taking that happiness out, and all of my relations with everybody are going to be better, and I'm going to be more cheerful and pleasant to be around, spreading more love and goodness, and she is too. And then everyone, we're interacting with is too. It's the giant love
emotional state actually changes that way when you switch your perspective. Again, the holistic perspective. In that whole example, instead of still feeling the anger, you actually transmute it and, you know, use it as a tool with equanimity and acceptance instead of like judging it, bottling it up, or just reacting to it. And this reminds me of another thing of why holistic. It's gonna create freedom in life, and you're not gonna be a slave to the reactions and slave to the mental assumptions and a slave to the lies of those, and also a slave to the emotions. You're not gonna be a slave. You're gonna actually free yourself.
Because you are free. The slavery is a lie. Yeah.
So you're definitely gonna free yourself through this, and I think that's something that's a huge reason of why I would want to remember my holistic nature and connection to things. And through also like what you were just saying as the example, it's like a whole nother level of another benefit of why holistic would be like authenticity. Like you start live that freedom of expression, but it's not just this reactive expression, it's a more true expression. It's a vulnerable expression, and that also taps into a ripple effect of feeling more happy in life, and you know, just nurtures the well of goodness inside, in the emotional self, in the mental self, and the thoughts that actually nourish and nurture all of that get fed as well. Again, I love this win-win but as an exponent, because it's not just two things, it's like all of it. So I think that authenticity is a huge quality benefit that gets cultivated, remembering this, because you're acting from your inner wisdom, your truth, like what you really want in life. You feel more unique personal expression. And that also like takes away from lack and separation and fear mentality of like jealousies of like possessiveness of what I don't want to go into the personal example, but it can take away from those kind of things too. So again, it's like the win-win.
We're all healing and growing together. We're all healing and growing and awakening together. We really are, and we're all so deeply connected. And the authenticity is such a beautiful word to allow and like consciously invite in that process of like inviting in your authentic self. And then really like, this is what Reiki does. This is why I'm obsessed with Reiki, because it makes this a lot easier. It's actually like what it does, that it's like revealing the authentic self, because we all have this authentic self within us. And it's not, it takes away any kind of pressure of I'm trying to be just like her, or there's not enough, or I have to do things this way, or I can only share in this way. Like I can't share my vulnerability, I can't show up without makeup on, or I can't show up and
or
my
with
house
makeup
is
on.
or with makeup on, the opposite. Like it's like no, like actually, if you're just like cultivating this authenticity, like the authenticity in mind, body, soul, and spirit, what that's gonna do, and sharing from that space of authenticity creatively, like no one else can do that. Like no one else can do that. And having that feeling, it's like, oh, I just want to collaborate with everybody else's authentic selves, because guess what? Me being my authentic self is bringing forth my unique gifts and my life purpose to the world, and balancing. It's like I have what someone else needs, out there, and I'm the only one who can offer it, because that's my authentic self. It's my unique gifts, and no one else can do it. And then there are tons of people out there who have their authentic selves, and their unique offerings are the exact thing that I need, and like no one else can do. And by each of us, the holistic lifestyle, being this path of cultivating the authentic self, it's like as we all rise into, and really it's not even rising into, it's revealing, because it's there underneath us all. And there are many different ways of, accessing it and revealing it, sometimes using tools that seem external to us, but really it's all an inside job. So as each of us are, embodying and revealing more of our authentic self, it's like the balance is being restored. This like being in good relation with one another is restored. Being in loving relation with one another is restored, and we get this win to the win, exponential, or love to the love, infinite. These really good exponential situations happening. Peace to the peace,
Everything that she was just saying right now, you, Taylor, is that like reminded me of the words competitive versus collaborative. Competitive is like me versus them, and you have the energy of against, like fighting against, instead of like this energy of like I'm working with. When we have a holistic outlook, this translates to our health too, in our body. Like even just like as the body as a system by itself, without the spiritual, mental, emotional part of it, like looking at just that fraction. Like if we look at our a relationship with it, like a lot of people are fighting against their body. They see it as something they cannot work with. They're plugging in medicines, and this is not going to be a rant against pharmaceuticals, but I'm giving it as an example. Disclaimer. She's one example.
Gonna keep it high vibes.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it.
It's just one example of like, am I going to be fighting against the things that are in my body? And yeah, maybe you need to do that with parasites and take herbs that maybe release them, harm them, but there's also there's ways of like working with the body instead of against it. And like that's where we really get true health, and like remembering that holistic nature also. Like, how do I work with all my bodies and all my relations? Like it's a very connective and collaborative energy, and this really, when we fractionalize and don't think about our holistic nature, we're like competing against, climate change, like the earth, the environment, war, human resources. Like there's so many ways that this plays out on huge things that impact our lives. Things that even how we live in our home, the materials we're using in our life. Are these materials and things that are adding to the benefit and working with what we're relating with? Or are we using things that actually go against the nature of it all? Whether it's the earth, whether it's our whole bodies, it's like, different systems. It's a very simple thought, but it's profound. Yes. And it threads through everything. It's a mindset shift, and I invite all of us to remember this, and to practice it, and to keep choosing it in every now moment as much as we can, and that you can anchor in these thoughts through your spiritual practice. You can have a practice where you can have affirmations or prayers or whatever you want to call them, that are like statements that remind me of like, I choose from the win-win point of view for the highest good of all, and then release that and like try to embody it throughout the day. And I bet you like a lot of people who are going to be listening to this already have this mindset, possibly, or maybe we just need to remind each other of it. I need to be reminded. That's why I need to write it down, or I need to have it in my car on a post-it, or however I do it, through chanting, through whatever my personal practice is. But it's really like about really having it anchored in as this paradigm I'm choosing from, and it will and does affect everything. Like I really created my home space with this intention, and
it's awesome.
People
y'all.
notice it. They feel it when they walk. I'm not saying I have a mansion or something, but awesome. The little that I have created, I really am trying to embody this notion of like living in prayer, Like, you know, even in the walls we created, we physically wrote prayers down on them. And you're walking through a literal doorway, but it's also it's like a subtle portal, you know, and like infusing everything you do in your home space with love on like all different levels. Like I have the physical structure. I try to use eco-friendly paints or whatever I used, recycle materials when I can, and then you know, infusing it with the thought and the prayer and the, you know, when we put up different things, we actually said the prayers out loud. And so many magical things have happened from that experience. And you know, I would love to infuse everything I do with that, and I hope to, and sometimes I forget, and that's okay. But this is a great reminder right now, even just to have this discussion and like even living from it. And you know, that's where association is important too, like who your friends are. Do they have the same values and same beliefs? And we encourage each other, and we remind each other like mirrors, you know. Two hummingbirds are right here. It's so pretty.
Hummingbird medicine.
Yeah.
What you're including is just as important as what you're excluding. What you have, the materials around you, is just as important as the space. Like it really, there are so many different ways to access this, to work with this, to embody this in so many different levels, you know. So really just coming to understand it, you know, for myself in one aspect. Like we were talking about, you know, you can be holistic about each component of yourself too, like being holistic in your mind, being holistic in your relation to your body, being holistic to your relationship to your spiritual growth, to your soul, and whatever that looks like for you, because I'm not here to tell you, oh, you need to do my path or something. But the example of holistic body, like I use the flower of healing to really like encapsulate for me what is like holistic body. And again, these distinctions are so silly. I was realizing in the flower of health, but like, you know, nourishing myself with raw foods, having a mindful movement practice, having a spiritual practice, including appropriate, you know, conscious detoxification and cleansing responsibly, and, you know, relating to the elements and to nature. And that is a more holistic approach to tending to the body. That's also, you're tending to the mind, you're tending to the soul and spirit. We were also talking about like mental, emotional, which you could think of as holistic mind or holistic soul type work. You're not just engaging in the shadow work. You're also not just engaging in light work or like affirmations, or getting so stuck in like, I'm just doing the psychotherapy
Just
and like
the mental
that's
realm.
it. Yeah, just the mental part. Or, you know, just being like, oh, I'm just getting soul retrievals and I have no idea what's actually going on when I'm doing the shamanic sessions or something like that. Like being really sincere in any kind of, you know, mental, mind, soul journey, mental, emotional journey. And for me, like Reiki has really filled in a lot of those gaps and helped me out, like figure out what other tools I need to include. And the same with the spiritual. Tina and I were talking. We have specific spiritual paths we're on, but it's not like there's a right or wrong one.
Yeah, they're constantly evolving.
Yes,
and,
they are. That's the thing with the holistic.
Finding which one supports you at a certain moment, like where if there's any potential imbalances or like areas you need extra support in with like a certain teacher or technique.
And any authentic, like what's true for you, what feels right for you, what feels your soul is like, this is, you know, any path that is authentic and that is sincerely practiced, you know, is a good path. And you know, for example, like Reiki has been you know, the history of my spiritual path is like insane. It's been like one thing leading to the next thing and it's all been like, you know, divinely guided. I see this in retrospect, but like Reiki has led me to these other modalities that I'm including to make my spiritual path more more holistic. I was like, oh, I thought that, like this was just the next thing and it was only gonna be it. But, we just at the One Love Festival, we're learning EFT, emotional freedom technique with the tapping. And, both of us are like, wow, we're going to be doing the practitioner training because we're seeing that this is so beneficial for the spiritual health holistically. It's beneficial. It's going to round out our spiritual practices. Yeah. It's going to round out our mind and our mind body, our body practices. It has the ability for physical healing, the mental, because it's bringing into conscious awareness, different things that I might be healing with Reiki and maybe not knowing about. It's consciously processing it, but it's doing it, not like maybe some forms of psychotherapy. It's doing it in a non-traumatic way.
It's also subconscious too.
Yeah, it's getting to the subconscious. It's a nice balance of shadow and light work. So like really just being open to these guidances. I've been, guided to a different teacher, so it's a constantly evolving thing. And I think this process really strengthens one's intuition, one's inner guidance, because another program in society is you need to be telling me what to do because I don't know what to do, when in reality we each know exactly what to do. And as we engage and align more holistically, aligning more with nature, that intuition comes to be louder and louder, and we realize that our guidance is really good and that we're already doing a lot of these things.
Yeah,
we're already and
really
we can
supporting
do more.
Our inner compass and empowering ourselves. And we may need guidance sometimes, but like we do have a lot of inner wisdom that we can tap into. I wanted to kind of bring up a kind of like a more like finer detail of like, we're saying why holistic in general in life, but we're also tying this into a raw food lifestyle, right? So it's like, why holistic when it's the raw vegan lifestyle? And we're not going to name names or anything, but just kind of mention in general, like, I've personally felt imbalanced when I only focus on diet, or I've seen other people not be able to handle the emotional impact of a raw food lifestyle when they don't have all these other holistic awarenesses and practices and tools to support them on it. And I've seen some people who are really on it on like the spiritual aspects, but I don't really align with like what they're sharing about raw foods or like I love like they're like all the people they're following are fruit phobic, or there's people who are like super got the diet thing down, but then they don't really mention like all these other areas we can nourish ourselves. And all of them are awesome because all of them have gifts and medicine to share, and they've helped me. But what I've really wanted, and like I'd like to offer, and you too, is like, I think that we really care about the holistic aspect of a balanced, healthy lifestyle. And of course it fluctuates, but really
evolving.
And really emphasizing the fact that a raw vegan lifestyle can feel really great when we do put our attention and awareness on these other aspects. And it doesn't feel good when we don't. It really doesn't. Like I've seen a lot of and I've seen a lot of great people balancing, and then I've also seen like the not balanced and like what that looks like. And there may be very people forgetting their bodies even on a raw food and just going on the spiritual, and that's totally like, there's a whole gradation of that whole thing, but just neglect or like avoidance, if it's not done that's not healthy. It's not if it's not done with love, then we have a beautiful hummingbird again. It's coming. Wow, they're really out today. But just remembering that this is I personally think it's so important for a raw food lifestyle to have a holistic awareness, and I just want to encourage everyone to support themselves in whatever feels authentically true for them at that moment.
We both my authentic self and Tina's authentic selves are like really passionate about a holistic raw vegan lifestyle, if you can't tell. Like that's why I think that's a very important part of our connection, where we're like, we're always doing stuff together. As our authentic selves are very much kin, close sisters like that. And it's a necessary thing. I think that's the kind of the next level is like, how far can we take this? You know, like for me, the raw vegan lifestyle has been like a launch pad for so many other beautiful gifts and talents and awarenesses and magical things and opportunities falling into my life. And I want that for other people too. So it's not just, oh, I got this raw vegan lifestyle and like that's it now. You know, it can continue to be better and better and like more and more beautiful, and you know, unlocking creative talents and passions and deeper spiritual connection and newness, and in each of us, yeah, really stepping in and embodying our authentic selves, and then thus elevating the world, you know, just in our little humble community, and then having like a really good impact, because we're not just, you know, tied up in infighting all the time, or, you know, self-sabotaging ourselves.
Yeah,
I want to see, we're getting a lot of comments.
Some comments that are worth
Let's
mentioning.
see what we got.
I know,
yeah. Let's see.
But yeah.
I know Christy was saying greetings. Beautiful Christy, if you're still here, love you. Let's see. Man, oh man, this is great. Holistic. Yes, endless burning energy. What a great handle. I'm on board. Or holistic. He spelled it, or they spelled it. I can't tell. I think you might be a gentleman. Whole, like in all caps, like WHOLE, holistic. Yes. Yeah, if y'all have read that book Whole, it was by Colin Campbell and like some other PhD dude. That's a really good book about this that like my intellectual brain read a long time ago, and it really resonated. And
I haven't read that
yet. It started getting into the reductionistic versus the holistic paradigm as it relates to plant-based nutrition and a lot of other things.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a really good book. And then, endless burning energy. I never guide anyone with raw foods lifestyle without looking at things holistically.
Good.
Amen. Amen to that.
Yes.
Yeah, you two are so awesome. You are so awesome.
Yes.
Thank you for being here. I'm so glad you found us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I'm feeling whole and complete.
I'm feeling complete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone has any questions right now, if you want to pop them below in the comment section, we would love to engage with you. And if you also have any add-ons to benefits or reasons why holistic, please drop them below and let us know so we can share what you think with everybody else, because this is being recorded and it will be uploaded later. Let us know why holistic. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, and like, what is your experience in your journey, like in your awareness process as you've adopted maybe a more holistic lifestyle in one of these areas? Like, what's been happening for you? What, you know, anything you want to share, we are totally open to that. Please, let us know too if you're like, you know, I would love to hear y'all talk about this, or like, let's talk about this at tea time. We do take topic suggestions into consideration, and, you know, it would be great to engage in that way. So,
yeah, we want to talk about things that are relevant for you and all of us. It's about tribe and like what's going on in the raw food community, and what we want to talk about together and explore, discuss, and learn and remember, I think.
Definitely. So where to find you, Tina? Like, what are you doing right now? Anything you're excited about offering, and like, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram here at Tina Seus. It's Tina and then CSEUZ. And then I also have a YouTube channel with the same name, Tina Seus, with a space. And I'm excited about, not going to tell you the exact specific thing, but I'm excited about living my dreams out with Miss Taylor here, with TayTay. And I'm really excited about the dreams we're creating and about to offer it in the future. And we've been getting really excited and having great conversations about how to actually live this and bring people together, not just virtually, also physically. And that's what I'm gonna hint at right now. But yeah, dreaming into life and like actually creating it, you know, co-creating it in a space where we can be and experience it holistically, like also physically on the physical body.
Amen to that. I'm super excited about that too. Like, y'all have no idea what we are planning is so freaking cool. It's so cool. It's so fun. But yeah, I'm not gonna say anything because I'm the worst at spilling the beans. Y'all can find me at Joyful Raw Life on Instagram and Taylor A. Norris on YouTube. This recording will be in both of those locations, and then I am also offering one-on-one holistic health coaching as well as Reiki sessions. I am a Reiki master teacher, and I also teach Reiki classes. So I have trainings for level 1 and 2 in September and November, as well as for the master level in September and November. So if you're interested in that, you'd love, Reiki has helped me a lot with this stuff we're talking about today. It has been like, it's literally been the fire under my little rear end in a very positive way. And I taught this one too. She was in my first class. She honored me with her presence, and yes, so that's what I'm offering right now, with many more things to come, infinitely many more exciting things to come. But yeah, I'm super excited to be doing what I love, what my authentic self is passionate about, and being of service in as many ways as are authentic for me, and as many like different creative manifestations of that as possible that are very fun at the same time. So
well, we're so grateful that everyone showed up here. Thank you for interacting, showing up, being present, and letting us know what's on your heart. And stay tuned for next tea time. It will be happening in July.
Yes.
Potentially first week of the month.
Yeah, that's the plan. First Tuesday of the month. She's gonna be in here. I'll be somewhere else, which will be kind of fun. We'll be doing it like the normal way again, but yeah, we'll be doing more of these in person because our paths will be crossing in the physical much more frequently. Definitely.
Yeah. So have a beautiful day.
Yes,
thank you for coming,
blessings.
for all your community vibes and love, and we are sending blessings.
Yes.
Cheers to tea time.
Cheers.
Love you all.
So much love, friends.
Ching,
Soul
ching, ching.
Tribe, Soul Family. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I love you.
Blessings. Bye.